10 Forgotten Desserts Your Grandma Always Had on the Table. If this title brought a memory to your mind, then you already know why this video matters. These desserts were simple, affordable, and filled with the kind of warmth that modern kitchens often fail to recreate. They were always there during holidays, quiet evenings, and family gatherings, and each one carried a story that does not deserve to fade away. Welcome to America's Lost Recipes. Today, we are uncovering the desserts that shaped childhoods across the country. You will see how ordinary ingredients created unforgettable flavors, and why these dishes became symbols of comfort for entire generations. This video is important because these recipes are disappearing. Many of them are no longer found in restaurants, cookbooks, or family kitchens. Bringing them back allows us to preserve a piece of American food history, and it gives you a chance to reconnect with traditions that once defined the heart of the home. Stay with this video until the very end, because each dessert reveals something different about the era it came from. Some reflect struggle, some reflect celebration, and some reflect creativity during times when resources were limited. By the time you reach number 1, you will understand why these dishes were never just desserts. They were memories placed on the table with love and intention. Let us begin the journey and bring these forgotten flavors back to life. Pineapple upside-down cake. Pineapple upside-down cake was one of the most unforgettable desserts your grandma placed on the table, and it always arrived with a sense of ceremony. Its bright colors, glossy fruit, and caramelized edges made it stand out even before the first slice. This cake became popular during the 1920s, when canned pineapple became affordable and widely available. Families across America embraced it because it brought a tropical touch to kitchens that had never seen such flavors before. The beauty of this dessert came from its simplicity. The ingredients were basic, the steps were easy, and the results were reliable. Your grandma would melt butter in a cast-iron skillet, sprinkle brown sugar until it formed a sweet layer, and arrange pineapple rings with care, often adding cherries in the center for extra color. When the batter went on top and the skillet went into the oven, the entire house filled with a warm, sugary aroma that signaled something special was coming. What made this cake memorable was the reveal. When your grandma flipped the skillet onto a plate, everyone paused for a moment. The fruit glistened, the caramel dripped slowly, and the cake held a perfect shape. It was a dessert that looked celebratory even on an ordinary day. Families served it during Sunday dinners, church gatherings, and birthdays, and it always brought smiles because it felt both classic and comforting. This dessert captured the spirit of its era. It reflected creativity, practicality, and the joy of making something beautiful from ingredients that were easy to find. For many families, pineapple upside-down cake became a tradition passed down from one generation to the next, and remembering it today allows us to honor those moments that shaped our earliest memories of home. Banana Fosters. Banana Fosters was not merely a dessert, it was a performance at the dinner table. This creation became popular in the mid-20th century, particularly in New Orleans, where the abundance of bananas and the flair for theatrical presentation combined into something unforgettable. For many families, it was a treat that transformed an ordinary evening into a moment of delight. The magic of Banana Fosters lies in its simplicity paired with flair. Ripe bananas were sliced and gently sautéed in butter and brown sugar until they softened and released their natural sweetness. Cinnamon added warmth, while a splash of dark rum created a fragrant, rich sauce. The highlight was always the flambé, pouring liquor over the pan and lighting it briefly to create a controlled burst of flame. The fire captured attention, evoked excitement, and made the dessert feel extraordinary, even for children. Once prepared, the warm banana mixture was served over cold vanilla ice cream. The combination of hot and cold, of soft fruit and creamy ice cream, delighted the senses. Every bite carried both comfort and indulgence. It was a dessert that required care, yet delivered generosity and joy, reflecting the creativity and resourcefulness of previous generations. Banana Fosters also represented more than flavor, it was a symbol of celebration. Families gathered around to watch the preparation, and even the simplest meal could become memorable. Its theatrical nature showed that desserts could engage both the eyes and the taste buds. Today, Banana Fosters is remembered not just for its flavor but for the memories it created. It reminds us how ordinary ingredients, bananas, sugar, butter, could transform into something extraordinary. Serving it again preserves a piece of culinary history and honors the care and ingenuity your grandmother brought to her kitchen. Lemon chiffon pie. Lemon chiffon pie was a dessert that combined elegance with simplicity, and it became a staple in American kitchens during the mid-20th century. Its light, airy texture and bright citrus flavor made it a favorite for family gatherings, celebrations, and summer afternoons. This pie demonstrated how careful preparation could transform basic ingredients into a memorable culinary experience. The foundation of lemon chiffon pie is its delicate crust. Typically, a pastry crust or graham cracker base was baked to a golden, crisp finish. The filling, a vibrant lemon chiffon, relied on freshly squeezed lemon juice, sugar, egg yolks, and gelatin to create a smooth, flavorful custard. The secret to its unique lightness was the whipped egg whites folded into the lemon custard, creating a fluffy, cloud-like texture that felt almost weightless in the mouth. The top layer of the pie often featured a pale yellow meringue, lightly baked to maintain its soft peaks while adding a slight golden hue. This contrast of tart filling and gentle sweetness was central to its appeal. Lemon chiffon pie also reflected an era of attention to detail in home baking. Bakers took care to balance the flavors, ensuring the pie was neither overly sweet nor overly tart. It was a dessert that rewarded patience and precision, yet its preparation remained accessible to home cooks. Many families kept this recipe for generations, passing it along as a cherished piece of culinary heritage. When served, lemon chiffon pie evoked freshness, sophistication, and warmth. Its presence on the table signaled care and hospitality, and it often became a topic of conversation at gatherings. Remembering this dessert today reminds us how creativity, technique, and simple ingredients combine to create something unforgettable. It is more than a pie, it is a taste of history and the loving hands that once prepared it. Fruit cocktail cake. Fruit cocktail cake was a dessert that perfectly showcased the resourcefulness and creativity of mid-20th century American home baking. Popular in the 1950s and 1960s, it allowed families to transform everyday pantry staples into something festive and satisfying. This cake was commonly served at potlucks, family gatherings, and community events, making it a symbol of convenience, taste, and shared experience. The defining feature of fruit cocktail cake was its use of canned fruit. A standard recipe involved combining the canned fruit, including its sweet syrup, with basic cake ingredients such as flour, sugar, butter, and eggs. The mixture was poured into a baking pan, and a generous layer of brown sugar or streusel was sprinkled on top. During baking, the sugar melted and caramelized, creating a slightly crisp, sweet topping that contrasted perfectly with the soft, moist cake beneath. This simple combination of textures made the dessert both visually appealing and flavorful. Fruit cocktail cake was practical as well as delightful. It required minimal preparation and did not depend on fresh ingredients, which could be expensive or unavailable. Grandmothers often chose it because it could be made quickly, using what was already in the kitchen, yet it always impressed guests with its rich taste and vibrant appearance. Its popularity reflected an era when convenience and ingenuity were key to home baking, but care and attention still mattered. More than just a cake, fruit cocktail cake carried a sense of nostalgia. For many, it recalls the excitement of helping in the kitchen, the anticipation of gathering around the table, and the comfort of shared meals. Each slice was a reminder of warmth, tradition, and the creativity that defined American desserts of the time. Remembering it today allows us to honor those culinary traditions and the generations who perfected them. Wacky cake. Wacky cake, also known as depression cake, is a dessert born from necessity and ingenuity. During the Great Depression of the 1930s, ingredients such as eggs, milk, and butter were scarce or expensive. Yet families still sought comfort and sweetness at home. Wacky cake became a solution, transforming humble pantry staples into a moist, chocolatey treat that brought joy even in difficult times. The preparation of wacky cake is unusual, which is why it earned its distinctive name. Instead of eggs or dairy, the recipe relied on a chemical reaction between baking soda, vinegar, and water to provide structure and leavening. Ingredients such as flour, sugar, cocoa powder, and vegetable oil were combined directly in the baking pan, minimizing cleanup and simplifying the process. The result was a soft, tender cake that resembled traditional chocolate cakes in texture and flavor, despite lacking conventional components. Wacky cake demonstrates both simplicity and brilliance. Its affordability made it accessible to nearly every household, while its flavor was satisfying enough to feel indulgent. This cake exemplified the resourcefulness of grandmothers who turned scarcity into creativity. Families could produce a delicious dessert without leaving home or spending heavily, a critical advantage during economically challenging times. Beyond practicality, wacky cake carries emotional significance. For many, it recalls memories of family resilience, quiet perseverance, and the ability to create comfort in any situation. Sharing a slice symbolized togetherness and care, proving that meaningful desserts do not require wealth or elaborate ingredients. Its history serves as a reminder that ingenuity and love were central to home baking traditions. Today, wacky cake may appear simple, yet it represents a profound legacy. It is not just a chocolate cake, it is a story of survival, innovation, and the comforting power of a dessert baked with resourcefulness and heart. Country apple dumplings. Country apple dumplings are a classic American dessert that embodies warmth, simplicity, and the comfort of home. Particularly popular in the southern United States, this dish was a reliable choice for family dinners, Sunday gatherings, and holiday occasions. It reflects an era when home baking was both practical and deeply cherished, relying on fresh, readily available ingredients to create memorable flavors. The essence of country apple dumplings lies in their construction. Whole or halved apples were cored and sometimes lightly sweetened or spiced with cinnamon before being wrapped in soft pastry dough. The dumplings were then baked slowly, allowing the apples to soften while the pastry became golden and tender. Often, a light sugar syrup or butter sauce was poured over them, sometimes enhanced with a touch of vanilla or nutmeg. This simple method created a balance of textures, the tender, aromatic apple inside, enveloped by a flaky, buttery exterior. Country apple dumplings were more than a dessert, they were a centerpiece of family life. Preparing them required attention and care, and their baking filled homes with the inviting aroma of baked apples and warm spices. Each dumpling represented patience, tradition, and a sense of generosity, as these desserts were meant to be shared with loved ones. Children and adults alike looked forward to the comforting flavors and familiar presentation. The appeal of country apple dumplings endures because they are tied to memory as much as to taste. They evoke images of family kitchens, homey gatherings, and simpler times. This dessert reminds us that culinary satisfaction does not always require complexity or exotic ingredients. Instead, it is the combination of thoughtful preparation, shared experience, and natural flavors that creates a lasting impression. Remembering country apple dumplings allows us to honor the culinary traditions of the past while keeping the warmth. Magic cookie bars / Hello Dolly bars. Magic cookie bars, also known as Hello Dolly bars, were a beloved dessert in American kitchens during the 1960s and 1970s. They became a favorite because of their rich, layered texture, convenient preparation, and the comfort they provided. This dessert exemplifies how simple ingredients, when thoughtfully combined, can produce something remarkable and memorable. The foundation of magic cookie bars is a buttery graham cracker crust. Crushed graham crackers are mixed with melted butter, pressed into a baking pan, and baked briefly to form a crisp base. This is followed by a layer of sweetened condensed milk, which acts as both binder and flavor enhancer. The dessert is then topped generously with chocolate chips, butterscotch chips, shredded coconut, and chopped nuts, creating a colorful and flavorful mosaic. Once baked, the layers meld together, resulting in a chewy, soft, and rich bar that contrasts with the crunchy base. The appeal of magic cookie bars extends beyond flavor. They were straightforward to prepare, required no special skills, and could be made quickly, making them ideal for busy households. Yet, their result was indulgent and impressive, providing the sense of a luxurious treat without complex techniques. Families often shared these bars at parties, potlucks, or simply as an after-dinner delight, and they quickly became a nostalgic symbol of mid-century American home baking. Magic cookie bars carry memories as much as taste. For many, they recall helping in the kitchen, watching layers come together, and eagerly awaiting the moment to take the first bite. Each chewy, sweet piece reflects care, creativity, and a desire to make ordinary moments special. Remembering magic cookie bars allows us to preserve the ingenuity of previous generations and brings back a taste of warmth, nostalgia, and shared family joy in every bite. Watergate cake. Watergate cake was a dessert that captured both the imagination and curiosity of Americans in the 1970s. Named after the political scandal of the same era, it became an instant conversation starter at family gatherings, potlucks, and community events. Beyond its playful name, the cake offered a unique flavor, convenience, and a touch of novelty that made it unforgettable. The distinguishing feature of Watergate cake was its use of pistachio pudding mix, which created a light, subtly nutty flavor and a distinctive green color. The cake itself was typically a moist, sheet-style dessert, easy to slice and serve to large groups. The inclusion of crushed pineapple or pecans enhanced both texture and taste, while a rich, fluffy frosting, often made with cream cheese or whipped topping, completed the cake. Some variations included a crunchy topping, providing an additional layer of interest and complexity. Watergate cake reflected an era when home bakers embraced convenience without sacrificing creativity. The use of boxed pudding mix was innovative at the time, allowing bakers to produce a flavorful, eye-catching dessert with minimal effort. Its bright green hue and unusual flavor made it a novelty, while its soft texture and rich sweetness ensured it was enjoyed by all ages. More than flavor, Watergate cake represented a playful engagement with contemporary culture. Families could serve a dessert that sparked curiosity and conversation, connecting current events with everyday life. It demonstrated how food could reflect both creativity and social awareness, turning a simple cake into a memorable experience. Remembering Watergate cake is a reminder of an era when bakers combined convenience, ingenuity, and a sense of humor. Its presence on the table offered both sweetness and storytelling, ensuring that this unique dessert remains a nostalgic symbol of 1970s American home baking. Coffee cakes. Coffee cakes were a quintessential part of American mornings during the 1980s, providing warmth, comfort, and a sense of ritual to households across the country. Often served alongside a hot cup of coffee, these cakes were a symbol of both indulgence and homey hospitality. They were enjoyed during breakfast, brunch, or casual gatherings, embodying the simple pleasure of a sweet start to the day. The appeal of coffee cakes lies in their tender crumb and rich toppings. Traditional recipes used basic ingredients such as flour, sugar, eggs, and butter, but what set them apart was the incorporation of sour cream or buttermilk. This addition gave the cake a moist texture and subtle tang, enhancing the overall flavor. The cake often featured a cinnamon sugar filling, sometimes combined with chopped nuts or fruit, creating a layered taste experience. A streusel topping, crisp and sweet, provided a satisfying contrast to the soft interior. Coffee cakes were easy to prepare yet remarkably versatile. Bakers could adapt recipes to include flavors such as nutmeg, apple, or even chocolate, making each version a unique expression of home creativity. The cakes could be baked in a loaf pan, round pan, or bundt pan, offering flexibility in presentation. Their aroma, released while baking, filled homes with a sense of warmth and anticipation. Beyond flavor, coffee cakes carried social and emotional significance. They symbolized hospitality, family connection, and slow, enjoyable mornings. Children remembered waking up to the scent of cinnamon and sugar, while adults cherished a quiet moment with coffee and cake. These desserts represented the comfort and joy of simple, thoughtful baking. Remembering coffee cakes allows us to celebrate a culinary tradition that combined practicality, creativity, and affection. Each slice offers not only sweetness but also a connection to the warmth and love that defined past generations' kitchens. Thank you for joining this sweet journey through time and rediscovering the desserts that once filled Grandma's kitchen with warmth and love. These treats were more than recipes, they were memories, moments of joy, and a reflection of creativity and care in every bite. We have explored classics like banana pudding, peach cobbler, Lane cake, possum pie, black forest cake, chocolate chiffon cake, cherry angel food cake, Texas sheet cake, pineapple cheese casserole, and Watergate cake, each carrying a story, a tradition, and a connection to the past. If these desserts brought back memories or inspired you to try them again, make sure to hit like and subscribe so you can continue taking nostalgic trips with us. Share your favorite family dessert in the comments and help keep these culinary traditions alive. Remember, every bite is a story, every recipe a piece of history. Let us honor our grandmothers and the kitchens they created, preserving their love, ingenuity, and timeless flavors for generations to come.